We've been hiking for probably about 2 hours now, and we are just finally getting to the top of Poca Moonshine. So we'll have the great view when we get to the top. We can see the fire tower, and we'll do a little more discussion of Article 14. So we are at the top of Poca Moonshine, looking out over Lake Champlain and the Green Mountains of Vermont. So the next section of Article 14 that I want to read is section 3.1, which is about forest and wildlife conservation and land acquisition, the state's ability to purchase more land for forest conservation. And as we look further south, you can see into the high peaks of the Adirondacks. Okay, so what's your name?
I'm Ivy. I'm the summit steward up on Poca Moonshine.
So that section begins, forest and wildlife conservation are hereby declared to be policies of the state. There are not many states in the country that have forest and wildlife conservation written into their constitutions.
I chose a quote by Vera Nazaria. I don't know how to say her last name.
Okay, and you graduated from SUNY Plattsburgh.
Yep, I just graduated back in December, thankfully, before all the COVID hit.
And there on the right, right next to the tree line, is Whiteface Mountain. For the purpose of carrying out such policies, the legislature may appropriate money for the acquisition of state land outside of the Adirondack and Catskill parks, so the state can purchase more state lands for the use of recreation and forest conservation. So those are state parks other than the Adirondacks and the Catskills. And that section goes on to talk about the size of those lands and how the state will acquire them.
But I was a bio student with a chem minor and did all that cool stuff. I worked for LCRI for a little bit and Sea Grant too, so it was pretty fun.
If music is a place, then jazz is the city. Folk is the wilderness. Rock is the road. Classical is
It don't matter where you come from, it's a long way to the promised land.
My general day, I usually start around 7:30 or 8 o'clock and I climb up to the fire tower. Once I summit, I usually open up the fire tower so that people can go and get the view from up there.
And section 4 of Article 4 of the Constitution is about the protection of natural resources. The policy of the state shall be to conserve and protect its natural resources and scenic beauty, and encourage the development and improvement of its agricultural lands for the production of food and other agricultural products.
Some of the more important things to think about when we're out in the Adirondacks is just protecting the indigenous wildlife and sticking to those leave no trace policies, more like, protecting the alpine grasses and just trying not to interrupt wildlife as much as we can.
It's by Wallace Stegner, The Sound of Mountain Water. Something will have gone out of us as a people if we ever let the remaining wilderness be destroyed. We simply need that wild country available to us, even if we never do more than drive to its edge and look in.
Section 4 then goes on to say, the legislature shall further provide for the acquisition of lands and waters, including improvements thereon, and any interest therein outside the forest preserve counties, and the dedication of properties so acquired or now owned, which because... So how often do you come up?
So I'm up here on the summit 4 or 5 times a week. I usually try to keep it to the weekends, and the days around the weekends a little more busier times up here on the mountain.
This is a quote by Nancy Newhall. The wilderness holds answers to more questions than we have yet to ask. And what's the craziest story you have about being a summit steward?
So the first thing that pops into mind is somebody brought 9 White Claw cans up.
Now this is the important part. Because of their natural beauty, wilderness character, or geological, ecological, or historical significance, shall be preserved and administered for the use and enjoyment of the people. Properties so dedicated shall constitute the State Nature and Historical Preserve, and they shall not be taken or otherwise disposed of except by law enacted by 2 successive regular sessions of the legislature.
Carried them up the hard way up the mountain and did all that work, drank them, and then left them in the bushes. So I had to clean that up. That wasn't very
That's so
exciting.
sad.
So I've been reading a report from the Adirondack Council. That's an NGO that supports wilderness in the Adirondacks, and their recommendations for dealing with overcrowding. And those are things like better parking enforcement, human waste management at trailheads, porta potties, and bathrooms and septic tanks.
So do you ever see overcrowding up here at Boca Moonshine and feel like there are too many people?
Definitely. It's a really popular area, so we can have upwards of 100 people on the mountain in any given day over the weekend.
Education and messaging, making people more aware of the challenges and the appropriate ways to leave no trace when you hike. Electric-powered shuttles at some of the more frequented hiking areas to move people from parking areas to the trailhead so that people aren't parking on the sides of the road in dangerous areas.
The day before 4th of July, it was actually like 130 people up here. It gets pretty crowded, so usually, during the pandemic, a lot of people are sticking to social distancing, and if more people come in, the people who have been hanging out for a while tend to go back down the mountain and try to get the picture. But it's just something we have to worry about for just maintaining the trails, and now that there's a lot more traffic here and in the high peaks and everything, it's a lot more wear and tear on the trails.
Implementing leave no trace recommendations for hikers to cut down on waste and trail erosion. More trail assessments and maintenance and funding for trail maintenance. Data collection about visitors and visitor information and visitor frequency so that the more popular trails can be better managed, especially in high tourist season, and limiting capacity on some of the trails.
Do you think that the state should limit the number of people that can be on the trail on a given day?
I don't think so. No, I don't think the state should be able to tell you that kind of stuff. The environment, it's all here for us to enjoy. But I think people need to have the right type of mentality when they're coming out here.
Walk away a better man. I had touched the rock of
Well, we hit the summit and now we are on our way back down the mountain, almost back to the trailhead, maybe another 5 minutes or so left.
It don't matter where you come from.
It's been a beautiful hike, a great day to be out. It's about 75 degrees and nice and bright sunny. We had an awesome time. Well, Eloise, we are back to the parking lot, and it was fun to talk about the Adirondacks and the history and Article 14 along the way. Did you have fun today? Was it heavy? Huh. But did you have fun otherwise? Oh, why not? Oh.
I know that there's a heaven.
I'll probably edit that out of the video.
There's a hell. Which
Well, that was an awesome family hike. We all had such a good time. Thanks for watching.
I'm a weak and simple man. I'm going down around temptation.
I had a good time and now I'm eating starving.
Until next time.